All right, welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. Time, as always, for our Razorback Roundtable. Austin Allen, Travis Swanson. And as we have now wrapped up a 10-game all-SEC season for Arkansas, we don't need to dwell much on the Alabama game, and we can talk a little bit about that. But just first and foremost, how impressed are you that Arkansas and really the SEC able to play 10 games this season, Austin?
Yeah, that's big time for the SEC to, not go with the crowd. And they wanted to get the season done. They put the protocols in place, and for all the teams to follow it. And I think that's a great success for all the teams. We've not had too many canceled games. I mean, inevitably it's going to happen, but overall, for them to be the leader in starting the college football season, actually being able to get through it, that's a hats off to the SEC office and all the teams for getting it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. I think this only helps solidify the image of the SEC in people's minds, because it's only natural people are going to look to who those leaders are, who's kind of running the show. And now for the SEC to go out and kind of like what Austin said, not cancel or postpone seasons. Now, I'm not saying that those are bad ideas, but they put a protocol in place. They stuck by it, where there's still cases every now and again. But for the most part, you try to mitigate it as much as possible. I think that's going to show people just that the SEC is they're at the front line of kind of not only the product that's on the field from a sporting standpoint, but just the innovation that kind of went behind, hey, what can we do to be put in place? So I was really, really happy that obviously they were able to kind of finish this season out right.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just the patience. I think them and the ACC just was patient and tried to figure out how to make it work instead of going straight to we've got to postpone or delay or cancel. And so that was really nice to see. And obviously it's working out in the SEC's favor, as the Big Ten has had to make how many changes now to accommodate Ohio State. So there's that. But let's kind of talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks final game against Alabama. Not the way you want to end the season. It's hard with the way that Alabama's playing right now. They're just good, even for Alabama standards. But maybe a takeaway from the game. What did you see yesterday that maybe you liked or didn't like, Travis?
Yeah, and the score is a score, obviously, and I think given the history of the program of Alabama with Nick Saban and how they go about things and their process, extremely consistent. There's a reason year in and year out they are where they are and go where they go. It's because they have a very good process in place. They recruit very good players, and also not only recruit them, but can develop them. Now, some things to take away from Arkansas and really this game. I really hope that the guys kind of use this to use it as essentially momentum to go into next year. And I know people have heard it before, but for the coaching staff and the players to come out and do what they did this year, I think it's unbelievable. And never once did we hear Coach Pittman or any of the coaches on the staff say anything about this roster. We can't do it with this roster. That's not the case whatsoever. I think the big thing that I personally wanted to see coming into this season is, can they get the guys to buy in? That is the biggest thing, because that was the most apparent thing that was lacking in my eyes over the past however many years, was you could just tell the guys were not bought in. So not only have they obviously bought in, but I think the momentum that they built handling this whole year and the gems that they've had on the field can just use it to propel them into next year, hopefully, given that they can get back to some form of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a game that you hang your hat on. Where Alabama, I mean, the past 6 games, they put up 35 points in the first half. That's unheard of, honestly. So they're just on a different level than any college football team out there right now. But like Travis was saying, it's nice to see that the team competes, where they're not out there. It's still 52-3, but you see the defense still flying around, getting fumbles, making big hits. And I think that's the best part to see as a former player and as a fan now is the guys truly care and want to play hard for the coaches, for the team, and for each other. So I think that's the best part about seeing it, where, this is only going to help the young kids. I mean, the D-line, they're still so young. Secondary, you got, I don't think we have one senior back there. So for them to be able to go up against a guy like Devontae Smith and a team like Alabama, that's only going to help them in the future. And, in all SEC schedule, that's a grind. That's a grind to get through and to finish it off with Alabama, probably the top team we've seen in the past few years. That's a tough one, but for them to compete every game, play hard, and, I think that's something for a fan you can hang your hat on and know going forward that they're going to get there. They're going to recruit the right players. They're going to keep developing them and, be competitive going into the future.
So Sam Pittman, part of his message yesterday after the game was, this possibly isn't over. A bowl game is definitely an opportunity for Arkansas because the win minimum is out the window this year. Some might argue that 3 wins, you might not quote unquote deserve it. But I think you guys know, one, the way that this team has played, but then you also get all those additional practices, which are so important. So again, do you think that this team deserves a bowl game? Would you like them to be in a bowl game?
Yeah, I might be a little biased, but I think 3 SEC wins is a little different than 3 normal wins,
absolutely,
to say the least.
Maybe weighted a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Now, that's a conversation for another time. I do think that they should at least have the ability to go to a bowl game, given just the storyline of what the Razorbacks have done this year with Coach Pittman. Everyone obviously had their questions on the front end of, well, the whole no head coaching experience at that kind of level and whatnot. And then just given what they were able to do against that competition, if I'm a part of these bowl committees trying to look at teams, why not? I think you have a great brand that you can bring to wherever the bowl game is in that city. Then you have a team that has had a complete turnaround, and it's a great storyline. And I think the coaches, the players, the state, the organization, everything, I think they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, 3 wins in the SEC, if you do that, that's a minimum 7-win team in normal circumstances, in my eyes. Should be 4 or 5, maybe 6 wins where they played well in those games and had a chance to win it at the end. But 3 SEC wins, it's more than we had in the past 3 years combined. So it's credit to Coach Pittman, and they definitely deserve to go to a bowl game. For them to be able to get the extra 15 practices and have the guys experience what it's like to go through bowl prep, to play in a bowl game, to understand, this is what we're working for. And, a lot of the guys on the team haven't had the experience of going to that. And once you get a taste of it, that's the best part about college football, is being able to go, when everyone's on Christmas break, you're still there with your buddies and playing football. And I think they definitely deserve it. And hopefully the bowl committee puts them in a place to, be able to get the extra 15 practices and be able to do it.
Yeah, hopefully we find out after all the conference games and championships next week, hopefully on the 20th. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, we're going to give out some game balls, and I'm going to throw a little curveball at you too. You can give a game ball out for Alabama, but then also if you want to give out a season game ball as well, you can do that too. Austin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, game ball for the Alabama. I was thinking about it, and I'll give it for the whole season, and that's Coach Pittman. He deserves it. That and the coaching staff, where it's a complete 180 turnaround from, it's the same guys they've had for the past 2 years playing, and he's been able to get them to buy in such a weird situation in 2020, and for them to be competitive in an all SEC schedule. It's been a joy to watch this year as a fan. You can tell that he's got them trending in the right direction, that they want to play hard, want to compete. And so my game ball goes to him and Hunter Yurchek for getting the season completed, and really the team for following protocols to be able to even have a season. So that's who gets my game ball.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Austin. I think the Alabama game, it is what it is. You gotta kind of just wash that one to the side and look forward to either that bowl game or next year or whatever is in the future. But I am on the same page as you. I think you got to give it not only to just the players or the coaches or the front office administration. You got to give it to everyone. Just because this season, 2020 in general, wasn't on one position group. It wasn't on one person or one coach or what have you. It took everyone to buy into whatever the protocol was to be put in place to help mitigate this entire thing and actually have some games. So, Coach Pittman, all the players, all the coaching staff, Hunter Yurchek, Clayton Hamilton, John Fagg, all those guys, I would give it to all of them, just because, like I said, this is different than, a basketball team or the NBA. You have to create your own bubble because of the amount of players and people in general that you're dealing with. So for them to come up with a plan that worked and to get us to this point, it's unbelievable. So I would have to give it to however many people that comes out to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we can all kind of agree. It's just been a fun season to watch. Have there been some moments where you just kind of cringe and move on? But to see the progress and a glimpse into the future has been really exciting. Guys, thanks so much. It's been fun hanging out with you guys too all season, and your input's been great. And I know the Razorback fans love hearing your opinion. So thanks so much, and we really appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right, the Big Trail Show rolling on after this.